Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, back today with my latest video, and no, it was not a typo. As you can see here, I'm doing my my review of my count 'em two, Y-MSF Manda figures. And yep, I know it's a little strange that I ended up picking up two, but the thing was, what happened was, I got both of these online on eBay. I found this one first, and because these are rare figures, they're hard to come by, I had to jump on it because I really wanted to have a standard size Manda figure in my collection. All that I had otherwise is the Gashapon version of Manda, the minifigure of him, which I'll probably review at a later date. But the thing was, though, with this one in particular, as you can see, it's not really a movie accurate paint scheme for it, and that's what I wanted. So that's why recently this was one of my latest figure pickups that I was able to get a hold of this Manda figure. And this one is really reminiscent of his design from Destroy All Monsters. The sculpt is the same, but the paint scheme is reminiscent of his Destroy All Monsters incarnation. That's what I really wanted. This is the second cast that Y-MSF released for Manda. The first cast, the paint scheme, the sculpt is the same actually, but the paint scheme for that one, though, is really reminiscent of his original incarnation, which was from the 1963 film Atragon. But the thing was, though, that paint scheme and all that, I'm not crazy about it. I way preferred this design, so this is the one that I really wanted, and I was really happy I was able to pick it up. And I was able to kind of strike a bit of a deal with the seller when I got a hold of it as well. So I was even happier about that, of course. So like I said, that's Manda's first appearance was in the 1963 film Atragon. That was also the first appearance of the Toho special aircraft, the Gotengo, which is one of my favorite of the Toho aircrafts. However, the thing is, with the Gotengo, I kind of prefer the or not kind of, I prefer the Final Wars incarnation of it, you know, just my personal preference. I like that design and what have you better than the original incarnation, and I'm more familiar with the Final Wars anyways than I am with the original Atragon, you know, than I am with its original appearance, you know, and with Atragon, the film anyway. So that's, you know, so that's something to note there. But again, though, I thought this would be kind of a unique video to just go ahead and have the two Manda figures up. I didn't want to review them separately because they're basically the same figures, just a different paint scheme. So that's why I just wanted to go ahead and just have the two of them and review them both at the same time. So with that, for most of the points, I'm really just going to kind of focus on this one because, again, they are basically the same figure, just a different paint. So for most of the things that I go over, I'll really only need to go over with this one, other than the paint scheme itself. But with that, though, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we'll start with the paint scheme, and I'll start with this one. So as you can see, though, again, very reminiscent of his of his Destroy All Monsters incarnation, as you can see. So let's go ahead and take a look all around him. Very nicely done. I'm really impressed. I happen to really like the Y-MSF figures. I've got a handful of them now in my collection, and I know for some people it's hit or miss. I happen to really like mine a lot. I think they really do a nice job with their figures, and rarity is certainly pretty high with them as well, so that's something else to note. So anyway, though, so you can see this sort of, some people will say it's more brown, but I would say it's more of a grayish brownish paint scheme for his back. As you can see, all down his back on him, it's got that, like I said, sort of a brownish grayish paint on it, so you can see that there. And then on his underbelly, it's definitely more of a gray paint scheme, so you can see all down his underbelly, but it's also got this this dark paint highlight as well, kind of going down the center of his underbelly, so you can see that's a really nice touch. Hopefully you guys can see that with the camera. I think it looks really, really good, though. Again, I think it's a really, really nice touch. So I really, really like that. And then you've got these sort of black beady eyes, these sort of alligator-looking eyes, almost. Very, very cool. You got, again, sort of that dirty grayish paint for the teeth, as you can see there. I like that, though. I think it looks really cool. And then you've got the red on the inside of the mouth, so you can see that as well. So that about covers it for the paint scheme. Nothing too extreme for him. But this one, obviously, simple, more simple, I should say, in paint, because it's really only the one. It's this translucent gray. So this is like one of their special releases of the figures. So again, not movie accurate. That's why I wanted the other one. I was very happy to be able to get a hold of it, but it's still very cool looking nonetheless. You know, again, other than the paint, it's still the same figure. So, but the translucent gray is really, really cool. I have to admit, it looks really, really nice, and I definitely happen to like it a lot. So you can see, though, all around it's that one solid color. But again, no, I like it. And after the paint, now go into detail. And for this, the rest of the way through, because for detail and all that, both of these figures, again, the same mold. It was only the paint that was different. So for detailing here on Manda, you can see the scales going all down his back. So again, taking a look at him. And you can see very, very nicely done. They're really basically individually sculpted, and they really, really look nice. I really happen to love this a lot. I love this figure, honestly. I'm absolutely in love with this figure. This is very, very nicely done. You got that fin that goes down his back as well, as you can see there. That was a nice touch on the detail. Very, very awesome. And it does go all down his back and then goes all the way up into the tip of his tail, and he's got that feathery fin-like tail as well. You know, because that's Manda, basically a giant sea dragon, sea serpent, whatever you would prefer to call him. I guess to me, kind of a sea dragon, I think, is more fitting, honestly, for him. But he certainly got that cool feathery fin-like tail, and that's something, you know, that in sea dragons that you would oftentimes see. So no pun intended. But anyways, though, I think it looks really, really nice. Hopefully the camera is getting a good shot of it. Again, folks, I do the best I can. He does have the two short stubby arms on him as well. They're sculpted onto the body, so they're not apart from it, but you know, it's not too big of a deal. The only thing that I would have really preferred with these is if the finger claws were painted in a different color scheme than that sort of, you know, grayish brownish color that they are. But the fact that they included the detail to make sure to have the arms on there, because that is part of Manda's design, so you know, so they definitely paid attention there. And then, as you can see as well, while we're looking at his underbelly, he's got the scaling, the segmentations, and the scaling all down his underbelly. You can see all the segmented lines of him. And I think they did a very, very nice job on that. Like I said, they definitely paid attention to detail. And then you look on the head, you can see how these sort of frill-like patterns here. Very nice touch there, and you got the scales there. Head with the different bumps and grooves there. You've got his nostrils. Again, those beady eyes. That does look very reminiscent of his design in Destroy All Monsters. You've got they're sort of more meshed in on the bottom teeth, but the top teeth, you can see that they're really individually sculpted, and they are very, very sharp and pointy as I feel them here right now. So you don't want to stab yourself with those because they are quite sharp. But I really, really like that, and especially like the look of the fangs in front as well. That's very, very awesome. And then again, you got the tongue inside of the mouth as well, so they included that with the detailing, and of course the roof of the mouth with the segmentations and whatnot, and it's really, really nice attention to detail there. It looks so awesome. I like when they pay attention to detail on these figures, and this one certainly did not lapse at all. So that basically does cover the detailing on this. Again, very, very nicely done. And then otherwise, we'll look at the articulation. Again, both figures the same, so I'll just use this guy. You can see the head does rotate, does swivel back and forth. You can basically go all the way around, but the thing is, though, with these joints as they're in place, they're not really circular, they're more oval shaped, and as other reviewers have said, and maybe not necessarily for him, but just for other figures in general, especially with Y-MSF, you don't want to mess with it too much with trying to go like 360 or something, because they could pop off. I already have had parts of him pop off that I had to put back into place, so that's something you'd really prefer to try to avoid. But he can swivel. Definitely has a nice swivel on there. And this second cast, along with this one too, the articulation on this is actually a little bit more than the first cast. Plus, the joints actually rotate a little bit easier than the first one. The first one was actually tighter, from what I'm understanding, of it. So, another reason that I like this better, other than I just like this design much better. So you got that point there. Then you got this here, which also does rotate. And again, you could, if you wanted to go all the way around, you're probably going to risk the thing popping off. You can see the seam there. So, but it does rotate again, just as the head does. So, I got that there. And then you've got some rotation right here as well. So here's another point of articulation. This one, though, is tighter. This is a tighter joint here, but it does swivel a little bit. I wouldn't risk trying to swivel it too much, because again, it would probably pop off. So that's something to try and avoid. So it does have a few points of articulation. I think I covered them all here. So again, here, and here in the head. So pretty cool. So you can do some different poses with him. You can stretch him out too, if you did want to have him in that more elongated, stretched out form. It's just like I said, just be mindful though, if you want to try and rotate it too far, that it could pop out. But it can, if, like I said, if you want to put him in more of that snake-like pose where his body is more elongated, you can mess with him a bit. I'm not going to get into that too much here, but you see though that you can kind of mess with him. The thing is too, though, I like keeping the pieces in line, the segmentations line up and stuff. So I'm not really going to go into that too much. I'm not going to get too crazy with that. But other than that, though, that does about wrap it up, though, for this. Manda's definitely a kaiju that I really happen to like a lot. I wish that we'd have more opportunities to see him more in films. Maybe we will in the future. Who knows? But again, because he's a kaiju that's not seen often, and as this is a Y-MSF figure, these figures, I should say, these are quite rare. So that's one thing to note. So if you are in the market, I definitely recommend them, but just know that you're definitely going to be paying a pretty penny for these figures. They are not cheap unless you really can luck out somehow. Just be prepared that they are going to cost you. So it's one thing that you do need to take note of if you are looking to get them. But nonetheless, though, very, very nice figures. Very, very nicely done standard size figures for Manda. I was really, really happy to pick these up. So you can always look on eBay. I do see them from time to time. But again, they are rare, so they are a little tougher to come by. But other than that, though, I think this does about wrap it up for the video. I definitely would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.